Today on the Stay at Home Chef, I'm showing you how to make moist pumpkin bread from scratch. This moist pumpkin bread is practically perfect in every way, and it's easily customizable for your own taste. So if you like to add nuts or dried fruit, this is the perfect base recipe, or it's also perfectly fantastic plain. Start by preheating the oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit, and then you'll also need 2 9x5 bread loaf pans. We're going to grease and flour these pans, so I just take a little bit of shortening or butter on a paper towel, and you're going to start greasing all the sides and bottom of each of the pans. Make sure you get in the corners and get all the edges so that everything is evenly coated with a little bit of grease. Next, we're going to take a little bit of flour and sprinkle a little bit into the bottom of our first pan, and then start shaking this around. And I bring the other pan over here, and I dump it in as I gently coat all of that grease with just a little bit of flour. And then I tap it into the other one and repeat the process over here. And then I give mine one hard tap in the sink to get out the remainder of the flour. Set those aside, and we're going to start working on our batter. And it starts with 15 ounces of canned pumpkin puree. We'll just dump that into a mixing bowl. Scrape out all the extra here. And then we'll also add to that 4 eggs and 3/4 of a cup of vegetable oil. Now, if the thought of using that much vegetable oil freaks you out just a little bit, it's okay. You can substitute all or part of it with unsweetened applesauce, but I highly recommend the vegetable oil as it gives the most moist result. Then we're going to whisk this together along with 2/3 a cup of water. You want to whisk this until the egg yolks are broken up and everything is well combined. Then we're going to whisk in 2 cups of granulated sugar. Get that all in there. And at this point, I also like to add in the spices. So we'll need a teaspoon of ground cinnamon, a teaspoon of ground nutmeg, a 1/2 teaspoon of ground ginger, and 1/2 teaspoon of ground cloves. And it smells so delicious. Then I'm going to switch to a wooden spoon and start adding in the dry ingredients. We'll need 3.5 cups of all-purpose flour and 2 teaspoons of baking soda, which will help our bread puff up and rise a little bit, and then 1.5 teaspoons of salt. Then I'm just going to stir this together until it's combined. Your batter will be just a little bit lumpy, and that's perfectly okay. Just stir until the flour is mixed in. Now at this point, you could add in a cup of chopped walnuts or pecans, or even a cup of raisins or dried cranberries, whatever you'd like. If that's something that you enjoy in your pumpkin bread, you can feel free to add it. This will completely and totally work in this recipe. Next, we're going to take this and divide it amongst our prepared pans. I'm going to do my best to go halvesies on this, but we'll see. Just do the best you can to split up the batter evenly. And that's it. These are ready to bake. I'm going to pop these in the 350-degree oven for 60 to 70 minutes, or until a toothpick inserted into the center comes out clean. If the tops of your loaves are getting too brown, because that's the way your oven works, some ovens are a little bit different than others, simply place a piece of aluminum foil loosely over the top. This will prevent your loaves from getting too browned. Once they're done, let them cool in the pans for about 10 minutes, and then gently remove them from the pan and place them onto a wire rack to cool completely. Then slice and serve. Thanks for watching. You can find the full written recipe in the video description. Be sure to subscribe and check out the rest of my channel, where you can find hundreds of restaurant quality recipes you can easily make at home. See you later.